After discovering Luna's HRT mod, I decided it was finally time for me to try out Project Zomboid's B42 beta for myself. This is Gigi Cummings, a butch, Bible-carrying amateur survivalist with her greatest fear being nothing but God herself. Her second greatest fear is running out of her HRT, so we'll need to be finding her some estrogen and keep those supplies up throughout her entire run. Additionally, she is scared of blood, which is going to be tough in the zombie apocalypse, so I hope she likes beta blockers. A few days after the Nox infection broke out, Gigi finally accepted some harsh truths. First, nobody was coming to save her. Second, her home was not safe enough to stay in long term. And finally, and most importantly, she was completely out of estradiol, the drug she takes for her HRT. It was time for her to move on from her home in Scenic Grove Mobile Home Park and head into Riverside to see if she could find some supplies that she needed and maybe even some other survivors. To do that, she was going to need to find a few things first. A water bottle, a backpack, and a car with gas. First, she checked the auto shop, and while there was good equipment there for repairing cars, there weren't any actual cars there. But the nearby factory had a bunch of company vans that looked like they were in great condition. However, it was starting to get pretty late, and with the number of zombies around, she didn't really have any good gear. She wasn't ready to be fighting a horde. So she made her way back to the trailer park to take shelter in her old landlord's place. After a good night's sleep, she headed to the nearby storage unit facility to see if she could luck out and find some gear before trying the nearby shops again. As heavy fog rolled in, she found her water bottle in the storage closet and a backpack off of a zombie patrolling the area. That was 2 items off of her list, so now the only thing she needed to find was a working vehicle. She finished looting the storage units, dropped off some things at home, redecorated a little, and then headed over to the diner for some food. It was around then she noticed that her gender dysphoria from her low estrogen levels was starting to set in. It was time for her next injection, so she needed to move quickly. With the horde taken care of, she was now free to loot the gas station for food supplies before taking on the zombies in the factory parking lot. You serious? Yeah, we're out of here. She waited until the next morning before heading back to the gas station to assess the damage. After seeing the new horde that had replaced the one that she had just cleared, she decided to go straight to the factory cars to see what condition they were in. Turns out the alarm was actually a blessing in disguise. It had pulled the zombies out of the parking lot, so it was left almost completely empty, and the cars were in incredible shape. Praise Jesus, as Gigi would say. It was time to head into town, and, on the way, see the wildlife, which is probably my favorite addition to Build 42.
Cows!
The map didn't show any medical facilities in town, so her plan was to search through the main strip of storefronts and see if any were carrying the meds she needed. As she checked store after store, she realized that she hadn't seen a single survivor so far. She thought about who else might be out there, and why hadn't she survived until now? How widespread must this be if nobody has come to save her yet? But her thoughts were interrupted when she finally spotted what she needed. The pharmacy. The horde of zombies right out in front of the pharmacy weren't really a great sign, but at least she knew where she needed to go. Her plan was simple. Maybe a little too simple. though her brilliant plan seems to have made the problem a little bit worse, she decided to pull around back and hope that she could sneak in quickly and get her meds. Unfortunately, between the growing number of zombies around and the front door being locked, she knew she'd have to come back and try another time. The next day, it was time to head back to Riverside. She decided to take a different route this time, coming up from the south in the hope that it might be a little bit clearer due to all the noise she'd made the night before. She was focused, determined, and all business.
Am I driving safely? Yes. Oh, what? Bunnies! Bunny, what? Ah, baby bunny! Almost hit it. Oh, look at that sports car. Oh, that thing looks pristine. Wait, hang on.
She found a good spot to park near some homes and began the process of clearing out the area.
I closed myself in there. It was so dark.
Now that she had a new base camp, Gigi was going to be able to get to and from the pharmacy on foot, which would be much quieter and safer. Before she did that, though, she still needed to find some food. She searched the nearby houses, took the food home and organized it in her pantry, and then removed the bodies from her home to make it a little more comfortable to live in. After a long day of hard work, it was finally time for her to sleep. This time, she was much more deliberate about how she approached the pharmacy.
Testosterone gel? Damn, it's just not what I need. Oh my gosh, I just killed a trans zombie. Wait, that's so sad.
Rather than heading straight there, she took the time to clear out the nearby houses, collecting some much-needed supplies, and creating a safe path that she could use to return to her new home. She knew that doing so would add as much as 2 extra days to her journey, but she felt it would be worth it in the end. Even though it had taken all day, she had managed to clear a path through the neighborhood. She was exhausted, so she decided to sleep in a house near the pharmacy so she could head there first thing in the morning. That night, she woke up in a panic. Nightmares, likely caused by the carnage she's been involved in for the past few days. Whether it was for survival or not, every single one of those zombies had been a person at some point. She couldn't shake the thought, so she took some sleeping pills and tried to get back to sleep as quickly as she could. Finally, it was time to attempt to get to the pharmacy for the second time. She wasn't sure what to expect. Last time she was there, she had made a lot of noise, particularly near the pharmacy. She could only hope that the zombies had dispersed somewhat over the past 2 days.
I'm looking in the wrong place. I need to be looking in the back, don't I? Box of syringes. Awesome. Estradiol pills. We'll take those. Estradiol pills. We'll take those. Estradiol pills, we'll take those. Estradiol vial, we'll take those. Pills, vials, yes, 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 yes! Oh, I'm so happy. Alright, time to GTFO.
With her estradiol secured, Gigi felt genuine joy for the first time since the outbreak. As she walked home, her thoughts drifted to the future. What does she do next? Does she hold up more in a house hoping for rescue, or does she continue to take life into her own hands? Only time will tell. And with that, Gigi has secured her HRT. It was a lot of work. She had to get equipment, get a car working, get into town, get to and into the pharmacy, and then hope that there was actually HRT in there. And lucky for her, there was. Thank you so much for watching this video. It really means a lot to me. If you like it and you want more of it, you can consider subscribing or just checking out the channel later. I also stream on Twitch, so you're free to check me out there. And until then, I hope you have a wonderful day.